anything. Ask Alan anything. Is it cold outside? Should I run and hide? How do I take my company worldwide? Do you love the law? Did you watch Hee-Haw? What's the weirdest thing that you ever saw? What's it like in court? Favorite sport? Can you help with my book report? Is my hair too long? Am I right or wrong? And do you mind if I sing along to anything? Ask Alan anything in the world.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Ask Alan, the podcast. I'm Alan Crone, CEO of the Crone Law Firm. And my guest today, I'm very excited about my guests, Jackie Mao and Kurt Mullican. And they are the owners of Gray's Cheese Shop. And they're operating, I'll let them tell you a little bit, but they're operating virtually right now, but they're looking forward to a brick and mortar location early next year. Jackie and Kurt, welcome to the show. Thank you for being on.
Awesome. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Well, let's not blow the lead. Let's not blow the lead here. Tell us a little bit about the shop itself, what you're going to be doing, what you're doing now, and then we'll kind of circle back and talk a little bit about your backgrounds.
All right. Well, the shop is slated to open in February, probably the second week of February, I believe, 2021. And it all kind of started as cheese boards kind of came into popularity, I guess, on the internet. And Jackie actually went on a trip to France and visited some cheese shops. And I've been doing private chefing and entertaining for a good while. And I've always been a huge fan of cheese. And I think just, it kind of just happened that way. And now that cheese is kind of really coming into its own in America and popularity, that we decided to swing for the fence and educate people about cheese and get them on board.
All right. On board, so to speak. So the brick and mortar is going to be located Mendenhall near Poplar?
Yes, in the New Williamsburg shopping center. So that's right at the corner of Mendenhall and Poplar, where South Hall and Hen House is, that new building that only established in there.
Okay. Yeah, I think most folks will know where that is. That's a great location.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Well, now I understand neither one of you are native Memphians.
No.
Well, you follow in a long line of successful Memphians. I always like to say, until they built one to Willie Harrington a few years ago, there's never been a statue erected in the city of Memphis to a native Memphian. People always come from out of town and make it big here. And so hopefully you're the next in that long line of successful entrepreneurs from Memphis.
Absolutely.
So tell me how two folks come from where Jackie, where are you from?
Well, actually, I was born in Miami and I lived all throughout the country due to work. I went to grad school in Chicago, I lived in Baltimore, I lived in Cleveland, and then ended up here in Memphis. So yes, I also lived abroad for a little bit. So, and here I am,
Very
Well,
good.
for
Kurt,
me,
how about you?
Yeah, for me, it's a weird, wild story, but I'm from the Nashville area. Lived there most of my life. I was on a podcast about fitness and strength and conditioning, and that started here in Memphis. They recruited me from outside, and I moved here for that reason. And since then, been doing the private chef thing and cheese board thing. But again, it all kind of started with fitness and food.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that we stole a good one from Nashville.
Well, I think Memphis has a lot of potential, and that you can feel that kind of that energy, especially downtown right now and Midtown and East Memphis, and you see the growth that Nashville's already kind of had. But you can feel it, it's got good energy, and you can definitely feel a solid future and footing in Memphis.
So how did you two get to be business partners?
Yes. So Kurt and I started collaborating. We've been friends for a while when we started collaborating, and I have some Airbnbs downtown. And I know that he was doing some private chefing, so we talked about having him do some private chefing at the Airbnbs, and then we also said, look, let's do some cheese boards, because as Kurt alluded to earlier, there's just a lot of popularity around that. So we began to offer not only the private chefing, but also the come to the Airbnb, and upon arrival, or if you're celebrating something, we'll have a cheese board delivered to you. And they took off. And then once we had that offering, friends of mine heard about the cheese boards that Kurt was preparing, and they began to offer them to their clients for, events, or also as gifts, for corporate gifts for the holidays last year. And again, that took off, and we began to get more orders and orders, and we knew we were onto something. And Kurt's cheese boards creations are not only amazing that they taste amazing, they're works of art. The way he pairs and he prepares the cheese, and it really looks like a work of art. And many of our customers say, we don't want to eat the board, we don't want to touch it, it's just beautiful. So yes, that's how we paired up at first. And then, as Kurt mentioned, right before COVID hit, I went to France, I went to Paris, and I started visiting some cheese shops. And I came back and I said to Kurt, I can't believe that the closest cheese shop to Memphis is in Chattanooga. And so we just began to do some research, and I said, we need this here in Memphis, because although you can go to a supermarket and you have a variety of different cheeses, you don't have that really experience like you do at a cheese shop, like I had experience in Paris. So that's how it all came about.
So is the idea that it's kind of like wine or cigars, or an item like that, where there's a lot of variety, a lot of quality, but you also have to understand the product in order to appreciate the quality?
Yeah, and that is with cheese. That is the underlying thing, is high quality, organic, artisanal, farmstead cheeses made in these old ways, these ancient ways, and it's one of those things. If a lot of people order maybe a cheese board at a nice restaurant, but they don't know what to do with it, and they don't really tell you how to approach it or anything like that. And obviously, the best way to get people into this culture of having cheese at their house all the time is to teach them about it. And when you understand where it came from and why it's so good, you can share that with other people. And it is, to me, something that's awesome, and some in some way like infectious. People see cheese, they know they like it, they just want to know just enough about it to feel comfortable continuing on.
So what's the business plan in terms of transitioning from the delivery kind of virtual ordering to an actual store? What's your plan?
Well, we want to maintain focus on the product itself, and that is cheese. And then, continue on doing what we're currently doing and expanding our offering through on-site sushi bar type of deal. So if you think about cheese and pairings and all that good stuff, not only will we have the cheese and all the accoutrement and everything that you need to go with it, the experience of coming in, learning something, having someone help you build the board of your dreams, or take home a cheese that you really enjoy, and then also service on the spot, wine and beer to match, and really just we're doing the workshops as often as possible.
What's going to be the experience at the store itself?
My whole thing is great service, and that's something that needs to be done in every industry, but especially in one where people can be confused or lost or even misled when they come in, maybe in the difference in raw milk cheeses and pasteurized and the laws around those things, or how they're made, why and where. But the experience will be just that. When you walk in, that you leave feeling elevated in some way, whether you just had something that you ate that blew your mind, hopefully that too, and you learned something. And again, I want people to be as good at cheese as me, as anybody.
Is this going to be a place where I go to buy cheese, or is it also a place where I can go to have a drink with friends, eat some cheese, that sort of thing?
Both of that. We're going to do cut to order as well as beer and wine service. I'm working on a really incredible menu. Again, my idea is kind of sushi bar of cheese.
Okay. Well, that sounds that sounds great. I can't wait for it to open. But as I said, you already are in operation, and I'm going to do a first here on Ask Alan. I'm going to do a screen share.
Thank you.
Of I hope y'all can see my my screen, which has got your website loaded on it.
There it is. Yeah.
Yes.
And the web address is grayshd.com. We'll put that up on the screen so people can see it. But I just wanted to kind of scroll through because it's a great website and it shows you what they're doing right now. Being able to order these entertaining boards, and you'll actually deliver them to folks' house?
Yes, no charge on delivery.
Home or office.
Home or office. And like you say, it's this isn't a commercial necessarily, but it's a great idea for for corporate gifts or holiday gifts, particularly since with COVID, everybody kind of staying away from each other. This is a way to have a great common experience. Send everybody the same cheese board. They can all have the common experience.
Absolutely. We call it a COVID-proof business.
Well, these are presented very, very well, the boards.
Thank you. I really like to focus on the cheese and highlighting those. I mean, these guys, they wake up and they're milking cows at 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. every day, doing these things in these not easy traditional methods that have been around for centuries. And I really do enjoy and respect it a whole lot.
So that brings up an interesting question. Are these going to be locally sourced? Are you importing a combination? Where are you going to get your cheese?
Well, I love that question. So Jackie and I have, in fact, traveled around a little bit, going to some creameries here in the United States. And I just would like to share a story about some American cheese. And in short, America has a funny history with cheese. I think when people think cheese, they might think France, Italy, Holland, Switzerland. And we will import cheeses from those places. But I really want to highlight the American cheesemaker. For the first time ever in 2019, an American cheesemaker was awarded best cheese in the world, Rogue River Blue out of Oregon. And upon winning that, there hasn't really been an export business for cheese. So American cheesemakers have made their stamp on the scene, and other countries are importing our cheeses, our American cheeses. And for the first time that happened, the man who owns Rogue Creamery in Oregon, he flew to London on his first pallet of Rogue River Blue that was imported from another country, and he stood on top of it and he sang the national anthem. And I just think that's so incredible. And I really do want to highlight those artisanal and farmstead cheesemakers here in America as much as possible.
Well, a beginning cheese consumer, what does someone need to know about approaching just all the different varietals and categories? How do you approach cheese?
I think the most low-hanging fruit is just shop around, find one that you like. I think we've all had some kind of cheddar or something that was from the basic side of the grocery store that we liked, and that's a good starting place. It's a good place to jump off. So maybe you started with your Kroger brand block of cheddar that you had in the fridge, and you jumped over to a nice cloth bound cheddar, something that is probably going to be in your wheelhouse, and just you try to expand from there. Part of the job of a cheesemonger, though, is to do exactly what you asked, and that's when somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, I know I like cheddars. I've got a great place to start," and I can kind of wheel you in and bump up that intensity until next thing you know, you're eating really stinky foreign cheeses that you can't even pronounce.
Well, very good. Well, Jackie, what's your tie to, how did you get to be so passionate about cheese in particular? And it had to predate your trip to Paris.
Yes, I had been in the situation where Kurt says that you go to a restaurant and you are tasting different cheeses and you're really not really understanding what you're tasting. So when I met Kurt, like I had him teach me everything he knew about cheese, and just we explored some cheeses together, and he helped me navigate as he was saying that when you start out, the intensity and just trying different things that I've never tried before, and my passion for cheese, and my also understanding the amount of work that goes in it, as Kurt alluded to earlier. These guys wake up at 4 a.m. and milk cows, and they do it twice a day. And really great cheese and great product means that the animals are also well taken care of. And that's very important to me. And to us at Gray's is providing the customers an amazing experience with cheese, but also that they know that we visited a lot of these creameries, that we've seen how these animals are taken care of. That we know how much love is put into this, and all of that wrapped together, just like Kurt just enlightened me, and just my fire for understanding and the whole process, and also a greater passion for cheese.
So you mentioned that the closest cheese shop is in Chattanooga. Do you guys have plans for expansion in down the road?
Absolutely, yes. So we want to open our first brick and mortar here, and we're starting to tinker with actually shipping to other parts of the country. So we have a lot of our customers that want to send these gifts. They've had an amazing experience with us. They're part of our monthly cheese club, and they say, we want to share this with our friends and family. So this coming month, we're going to start shipping our products we have somebody who potentially wants some products sent to San Francisco. So we're going to tinker with that first. And then once we're really comfortable with running our location here, we might expand to maybe downtown Memphis or nearby cities. So we have a lot of Instagram followers. We had somebody from Jackson, Mississippi said, you guys really need to come here. We don't have anything like this here. So, we will examine the market and see where we should expand to next.
Well, from an operational standpoint, how do you guys divide up the duties and the business duties and responsibilities of day-to-day operation?
Well, I have 15 years of corporate America experience. I worked for companies like Black & Decker and General Mills and Singer Sewing Machines. And my background was strategic planning and logistics. So when it comes to, for example, shipping product, I managed the supply chain for Singer Sewing Machines. So I'm very familiar with the entire process of, shipping and lead times, etc. So it actually comes very natural. Whatever my strength is what I go ahead and focus. And for Kurt, sourcing of the cheese and his understanding of the cheese, that is his strength, and that naturally falls to him. So that's how we divide the responsibilities. Is whoever has that strength, we just kind of talk about it, and we just say, okay, this one's going to fall under you, and this one's going to fall under me. And
it works really,
yes.
It works really
yes.
well. I have a small background in some internet web marketing and copywriting from the Monetized podcast I was on. And I like to say Jackie is everything I'm not, and vice versa.
Absolutely. It's great.
Well, that makes for a good partnership. It really does.
Yes.
When you each have the same strengths and weaknesses, it's hard to leverage that.
Absolutely. Yes.
I just find that I really admire your courage to be an innovator like this, because a place like Memphis is not the first place in the world. I mean, I would think if I was going to open a cheese shop, I would go to a bigger metropolitan area. What's your demographic? Who are your potential customers that you're really focusing on?
I think that there is a demographic, and that's very large and broad, because I mean, who doesn't like cheese? I think there's, it's very, very, a lot less people, dislike cheese than like cheese. And again, I think it's on us to get out there and rope these people in through learning and education and just great service. So we do have, maybe a customer avatar, but I think it's with cheese, the potential for it being so much more than narrowing it to that avatar is it's really empowering. You can teach anybody to appreciate, learn, and love cheese, and so again, it's a broad brush for sure.
And another thing is through education. For us, education is number one in our focus. You may not understand cheese, you may not understand pairings, but our focus is, if you come into the shop or you bump into our website by a friend or a Google search, we want people to learn about cheese. There's many people that don't know about the different varieties of cheese and the intensities of cheese or how to pair it. And I feel like we can expand the demographics if we provide educational workshops. And our idea is to provide as many educational workshops at our store and in collaboration with local restaurants. Last month, we had an educational workshop with South of Beale, where Kurt worked with their executive chef and their mixologist, and folks came in and had a 5-course meal, and they learned a little bit about the cheeses that were in front of them, as well as how they were utilized on the plates, on the dishes. And people had no idea about the background of that particular cheese. And we had people say, next time you have an event, we're going to attend. And we're having an event today at Magnolia and May. And there are a lot of people who are coming back for more education and more experience. So I feel like the more we educate the folks, whether here or anywhere, if we do virtual workshops as well, which we've done a few and we're going to consider having more, I think it's all about the education and what we can provide as far as expanding that knowledge of cheese.
If folks are interested in attending a workshop, how are you promoting those right now?
Well, right now through our website, Instagram, and Facebook, and word of mouth, we've had the commercial appeal, do a couple stories, and so a lot of that right now is just word of mouth and just social media.
And what is the best way if someone wants to send send some cheese for the holidays or whatever, is just contact you through your website?
Yes, you can go through the website. You can go to our Instagram page or Facebook page. You can send us a message or just go ahead and directly to the website and put in an order.
And I'll recommend that you go to whatever your favorite platform is, whether it's Instagram or Facebook, and like them so that you'll get that in your feed. Because this is the kind of thing that really needs to be top of mind with you until you start thinking about it on your own. You need to be reminded that this sort of thing is out there. It's one of the wonderful things I love about Facebook is just all of the ideas that it can bring you during the day.
Yes,
absolutely.
Kurt, you mentioned earlier that you have a background in website promotion, social media. Tell me a little bit more about that background and how it feeds into a retail business like this in 2020.
Well, definitely in 2020, kind of aligning with web services is really important. Again, we're all kind of stuck in our homes or maybe even quarantined, and that is obviously a key way to reach new clients, new interests, and so I started on a fitness and strength and conditioning based podcast, just writing some copy, some ebooks, sales letters, emails and things like that. And how that feeds over into cheese isn't necessarily easy to describe, but it did wonders for building my confidence and just letting my voice be heard, and feeling free in what I'm saying to reach out to people and get their attention. And it's very easy to lose somebody's attention. If you look at the average length of music, in the 80s and 90s, it's probably 5-minute songs, and now our songs are two minutes, 90 seconds or 2 minutes. So our attention spans get shorter, and being able to share something really cool with people that grabs their attention and keeps them engaged is a gift that I've definitely brought over to this.
Yeah, in my business, it's amazing how important engagement on social media is, but maybe not necessarily legal engagement, right? People want to understand, kind of who you are as a person before they hire you as a lawyer. Is that some concept that you guys are trying to use in your advertising and social media presence?
I think so, and I'm glad you said that, because when I was doing the other stuff, they were always pushing us when we were reworking our website to have an About Us section, and none of us wanted to do it. None of us wanted to do it at all. And when we sat down and actually fleshed out that About Us section, it gave us something to share with people, and we didn't realize that at first. It can be uncomfortable to talk about yourself or your services, but it gives you something to share, and people are interested in kind of what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, and I got an email yesterday, or I guess Friday, from Amazon. I had ordered, I don't know if you know this or not, but you cannot get blueberry muffin mix in the grocery stores. Is
that one of the shortage items?
So I've been having to order it online because my family loves Betty Crocker blueberry muffin mix. And so I got an email from the Amazon people telling me that my package had been delivered, and showed me a picture of the package on my doorstep. And I realized, and I sent it around to all the folks in our firm, I said, forget about other law firms. This is our competition, right? I mean, here I get an email from the company telling me that my package is delivered, and not just that, they put a photograph with it. And that's what people are going to be coming to expect from everybody, whether it's a cheese shop, a law firm, their doctor's office, the veterinarians, whoever it may be. That kind of transparency and that kind of experience. Have you guys got something, what I'll call 2020 like that, that people are going to really think is really cool, that you're prepared to share with us?
You're absolutely right about that. One of our good friends, and Fletcher Elkington, he actually uses the term Amazon proof when we were talking business. And you're right. I think it's easy to say that Amazon can hurt small businesses, but doing the right thing is never the easy thing either. And I think as small business rising to that level of service that they're able to provide, and just making yourself do it is going to be the new expectation moving forward. And old establishment businesses can get complacent. So, having that fire underneath you really pushes you to do more. And we do write handwritten notes on each board telling you how to approach it, what the pairings are, what the cheeses are, the flavor profiles, and again, leaning on that education piece. But, we send an email when you order, where your board is and when it's going to be delivered, all via email. And some of that we were able to automate, which is also very good.
And we take it up a notch above Amazon. For our monthly Cheese Club subscription, you get, as Kurt mentioned, you get a handwritten note, and it tells you everything about the cheese, but you get
a video. You get a video from Kurt explaining what are you receiving in your package, a little bit of the flavor profile, and just a little bit of background on the cheese. So not only are you getting that service that we deliver to your home, If you're not home, we'll take a photo and text it to you and say your package has arrived. And you're also going to get a video from Kurt explaining and how to walk through your cheese. So always, as you said, you look around at the competition and you say, this is what they're doing, and what can we do to step it up a notch and also be better?
We talked a lot about pairings here, whether it's crisps or meats or wine or whatnot. What's a kind of the 101 tutorial for pairing up cheeses? What do you look for, and what should a customer look for in pairings with various kinds of cheeses?
Well, you've got two camps that a lot of people fall into, and that's like the sweet and savory, which makes it, pretty easy, fork in the road. But bottom line is, if you like it, it's a good pairing. But there are some ways that you can go, and again, it's either sweet or savory, and then your other fork in the road is going to be complement or contrast. And the first flavor that you have in most cheeses is actually just salt. Like, you get that saltiness at first. So, sweet things like honey and fig jam are what I call like universal pairings. But also cheeses are very rich. So if you wanted to throw some acid in there, like a pickle or a jardinera, that's also a great way to go about it. So I did put Cheesemonger Monday. I've got a thing that I do every Monday on our Instagram. And one of those was universal pairings, kind of what do I need to put on my board? And it really is just as easy as complement or contrast, sweet or savory, and just learning from there.
Which brings up an interesting question. You're kind of leading with cheese, but you're also selling a number of other products in that pairing. How are you picking those products, whether it be wine or beer or meats? What kind of sources are you using for those things?
Well, the way I like to put it is, I sell what I enjoy. It really is a process of, and this is why I tell people to make like a friend group where maybe they do a virtual or, in person, like cheese night, just a few people and get together and try some cheeses and something that goes with it. And it's just like working out, it takes thousands of repetitions to kind of build that pastiche of ideas and flavors and things. And that's why I like it so much, because it's not that easy, but it's always fun.
Well, very good. Very good. Jackie, do you have any advice for folks on maybe what's a good specialty cheese that might be exciting for people to order?
That's a really, really hard question because I like them all. And every time Kurt has me trying one, I always say, oh, this is my new favorite cheese.
She's got a new favorite.
Yes, this is my new favorite cheese. And this is, oh no, let's scratch that from last week. This is my new favorite cheese. So it's kind of hard. I would have to say, just go ahead and sample as many as you can, and maybe build a list of your top 5 or something. But every week I have a new favorite cheese.
All right, I'm going to throw you a curveball. I ask everybody a form of this question. We all have people in our lives who really gave us a helping hand, and we look back and think, man, that woman, that man, that person really helped me become what I am today. Whether it's in cheese or any other kind of business, or who are some important influences in your life, Jackie?
Oh goodness, that's a very tough question, because I've had many people influence me during
my career, particularly in corporate America. But I have a longtime mentor since my first job out of college, Richard Wolf, and he has been amazing in my life, just mentoring me through multiple jobs and multiple career advice, and building my confidence and my just business acumen throughout the years. And I have to tell you, Kurt has also been very influential in my life, as far as sometimes, it's hard to start a business, particularly in COVID times. And we've just relied on one another and just build each other's strength and confidence to go big or go home. Let's just do this, and we just take risks together and just go at this every day. So I have to say those are probably the two most influential people in my life.
All right, Kurt, you got the benefit of going second on that question.
Yeah, there is a benefit in that question, but and growing up, I was always on the wrestling mat. That was kind of where I got started, and the lessons that I learned from my coaches, when I was 13 and 14, just like pushing through discomfort. It's another reason I think every kid should wrestle, but really just learning from those guys and letting them push me through pain. And you really do learn that you can do anything, even if it's physical, mental, emotional, you name it. And then as Jackie kind of came into my life, she's also been aggressive at pushing me to not be comfortable all the time. And we do need that person. Your comfort will kill you, and you gotta have somebody to push you out on that stage and let you just be your best. And so she's done a great job of that.
Well, I want to congratulate you guys on, as I said before, on just the courage of trying something new in this environment. Although I think this environment is a great incubator for innovation and new things. And in one respect, you may have a tremendous advantage in starting a business at this time because it forces you to be innovative and starting the way you did with the virtual and whatnot. So I congratulate you, and I'm glad that both of you found Memphis and that you're going to build your business from Memphis.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you again for coming on, and we'll throw up the website address again, and everybody be looking in February on Mendenhall for Gray's Cheese Shop. It's on the web now. The holidays are coming up, and that's a good time. It's as good a time as any. Eat some cheese.
Absolutely.
And a great way to social distance, as we pointed out. So enjoy that. Again, thank you, everybody. If you've enjoyed this podcast, then let's be honest. Of course you have. You've enjoyed it. Please share it. Like us on Facebook. Share it or email it around that somebody you think would be interested in it. Again, this is Alan Crone. Thank my guests, and we'll see you next time on Ask Alan.